Well, good morning, everyone. How are ya? Once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great day. Great start to your day. It is sunny. Nick from our staff, good morning. You're first up, Nick, this morning. And Elizabeth, good morning. And Andrea, Niagara Falls, good to have you on. Hello, Niagara Falls and area. Linda, good morning. Wendy, good morning from Markham. And Peggy, how are you? We appreciate you coming on. And Pam, good morning. How are you, Pam? And Catherine, with a K. And Ruby, how are you, Ruby? Sharon, good morning. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Pauline, good morning. And Jeanette from our staff, good morning. Zian, good morning. Mara and Donna, much appreciated. Another Jeanette, good morning. Okay. Milika from Stouffville. Doxy. Is this your first time on, Doxy? It's the first time I see your name. Welcome. We appreciate it. Another Sharon. Good morning. And Jeanette the other, from Kapuskasing. Santa Claus, Kapuskasing. Colette, good morning. And Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Raja, thanks for coming on. Debbie, Sturgeon Falls, beautiful. Katharina, Kevin, good morning, Kev. How is ya? And Brenda. Okay, guys. Couple more and then we'll get going. Okay, Sylvie, how are you? Janet, we appreciate it. And someone, if there's anyone out there, first time up, let me know. First time that you've seen this program. Sherry, I want to sing, Sherry, you have no idea. Barbara, I can sing too, Barbara, with your name. Sherry, Barbara, Ruby, all these names that are songs. Margie from Kansas. Well, good morning, Margie from Kansas. Tina, welcome. Nellie, good morning. I'm going to say hello to Brahim, and I don't know if he's there or not from Portland, Oregon, but I often miss him. Star, Bev, good morning. Couple more. Rose, Peterborough. Beautiful. Jane. Much appreciated, Jane. And, okay. Scroll's moving slow. I can't say hello to who I can't see. Sue, good morning. Manitoulin Island. Oh, God's country. Deborah, Yvonne. Guys, you guys are more than welcome. And to those that I miss, Diane from Thunder Bay, if I missed you, it's not because I want to. I really want to say hello. Barbara. Oh, that's another name I could sing. Barbara. Okay. But they don't want me singing, apparently. Debbie. Okay. Now, let me give you, Francis Marie, good morning. Let me give you the headline and then we'll break this down a little wee bit. This was an article that I read on the weekend Remember, this is the news behind the news. It is stuff you don't see maybe so much. It's not necessarily on mainstream media. Cancer rates are skyrocketing. Cancer rates are skyrocketing. 1 out of 2 people in their lifetime will get the diagnosis of cancer. I mean, that is depressing, isn't it? You and I, between the two of us, if I'm speaking to individuals here, 1 out of 2, 50% will get cancer. Will get that diagnosis, the C word. And when I read the article, they're not even saying why. They're just saying like how that's changed. You know, they look into the history of cancer, and they were saying like 60, 70 years ago it was 1 out of 50. I remember in my days in school in the early 70s, I'm going to talk to you about 2 specific cancers. One of them is breast cancer. It was 1 out of 20. You know what it is today? It's 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7. Breast cancer. Prostate cancer, it was 1 out of 20, just like breast cancer in the 1970s. Know what it is today? 1 out of 4 men will get prostate cancer. And the question is, why? Why? Now, if you follow the trends, medicine has been focused in on, and it started back in the 70s, genetics. Treatments were based on genetics. And they've been really wrong about that. Now, there's genetics involved, but really it's less than 5%, meaning that if you have breast cancer in your family, you know, mother or whatever, you're more likely to get it, but it's a very small percentage. And you know me at the Martin Clinic, I've been saying this for years, you can override your genetics. You can override your genetics. I use the example of me. Diabetes coming out my both ears in terms of family history. I know that. Got to be extra careful. But you can override genetics. And thus far, 70, with the grace of God added in, because there are no guarantees in life, you can override genetics. And this is why I do this program. Prevention, not detection, prevention. Prevention. You know, people came to me in my clinic years. They already had cancer. And sometimes I would see it right at the end, late stage, and they come. And you know what? Hey, you do everything you can. I agree with that. But now you're asking for a miracle, man. The best thing we can do is prevent it. And the best way to prevent it is to understand it. Why are we seeing so much cancer today? Why? And I could actually, I did write a book about it. Are you built for cancer? And it was a big seller. Are you built for cancer? And I talked about, how you get built for cancer if you are a sitting duck for it. And it wasn't genetics. Wasn't genetics. So let me reiterate what I wrote there, and I'm actually going to double down now. That book was written, how many years ago? 15? Close to it. And I was right. We're losing the war on cancer. Remember President Nixon in the 70s? Let's have a war on cancer. Yeah, but they were looking for love in all the wrong places. It was all pharmaceutical. It was all based on detection. You will never win the war on cancer with detection. I'm not against detection of cancer, but that's not going to win any war. And the proof in the pudding is, 60, 70 years ago was 1 out of 50, and now it's 1 out of 2. And maybe we've made a little bit of dent in life expectancy, morbidity. But we're not winning the war on cancer because we're never talking about preventing cancer. And let me give you the unholy trinity of cancer. Let me give you the unholy trinity so that you understand this. Cancer, I've always said this, is a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm. Doesn't happen by chance. It's a perfect storm. It is primarily hormonal. Cancer is hormonal. What do I mean by that? Well, there's 3 main hormones involved in cancer. You guys are probably guessing them already. One of them is insulin. It's very involved in cancer. Insulin is a food hormone. It drives energy and it drives storage and it drives growth of cancer. Insulin is a growth hormone. In a negative fashion, it will build fat cells like nobody's business. Nothing will build fat cells more than insulin will. And let me say it again, fat don't make you fat. Insulin makes you fat, and insulin, when you overuse it, when you get insulin resistance, you are setting yourself up, yes, for metabolic syndrome, but it's at the root of cancer. And the cancer industry, there's a whole industry. It's worth billions and billions of dollars a year. And I'm not saying their motives are not good. I'm just saying their operation, the way they think, hasn't worked. You would think it would change. The Canadian Cancer Society, the American Cancer Society, breast cancer societies, and wear pink and do this and wear a ribbon and run around the world. And, in Canada here, Terry Fox, and it was all wonderful, but it didn't work. People I know, who doesn't want to win the war on cancer? We all do. But it's almost like you can't speak of what causes it. Because it's almost like the world looks at it like it's like a roll of the dice, and you lose, and we lose. There's hormones involved. The unholy trinity. The other one is estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone. It makes things grow, grow, grow. Cancer needs fuel. Insulin from sugars, mostly, crappy carbs. Estrogen. Now, I brought to you in the last few weeks, what did they find in 80% of those tested? What did they find in their urine? Roundup. 80% of us have Roundup in our urine. Holy moly. What do you think that does in the body? One thing it does, it elevates estrogen. It's a mimicker of estrogen. 99% of us, according to the recent studies, have plastic in our urine. If it's in your urine, my friend, it's in your tissue. So when we look at this, okay, when we look at this, I made some notes the other day, 91 to 99%, that's what it was in our urine. 91 to 99, it's not 99%, all of us, it's 91 to 99. Well, you get 91 in the test, that's almost perfect. It's a perfect storm, my friend. Aluminum, plastic. I was reading this the other day and never even thought of it. Cash register receipts. Plastic. What? I thought that was paper. There's plastic in it. Microwave popcorn. I just jot some of these down. Triclosan, deodorant, toothpaste, antibacterial soaps. Ooh, you know what I think of those. Those antibacterial, body washes. You can't get away from it. Perfumes, scented candles, air fresheners, laundry products, nail polish, sunscreens. Did you hear? Did you hear? Which one came off the market in the last few days? They recalled it. Let me read it. I saw it the other day. Where did I put it down? Somewhere here. I think it was banana. Is there a banana sunscreen? Is it banana? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. The FDA, now I'm going to tell you something about the FDA. They don't pull anything quickly. And if they pulled sunscreens off the market because of cancer-causing chemicals, my word, my friend, it's worse than we thought. Because the FDA don't do that. So you see, when you eat, and when you eat wrong, you got insulin. It's at the top of that trinity. that triangle. You have insulin. It's food. Keep it down. You got estrogen. Mimickers. Xenoestrogens, they're called. And I gave you the list. It's in our urine. It's in the environment, everywhere. The world has gone crazy on carbon and has forgotten the craziness of estrogen mimickers. The world is worried about the climate when we ought to be worrying about our health and cancer. Guys, the statistics don't lie. 1 out of 2 people will get the cancer diagnosis. So you have insulin, which is food. You have estrogen, which is another growth hormone, which is mainly the environment. Can be food too, of course. I don't like soy. I don't like these seed oils that elevate your omega-6 compared to omega-3. Now that's a whole other discussion. And not necessarily, it's involved in cancer because of inflammation. But insulin, estrogen, and the third one is, little test. Someone tell me what other hormone is involved. I'm going to wait 5 seconds. And if not, I'll tell you. Okay? You know me, I like to test. Because my scroll is slow, so you're probably giving me what's that third one? What is the third one? What's the third hormone that's involved in cancer? Rose, you're absolutely right. It's cortisol. It's cortisol. It's the stress hormone. That's why Dr. Martin here has constantly told you about, and Janice, you're right, it's cortisol. It's the stress hormone. And guys, let me tell you how, well, look, here's why, for me, okay, and Veronica, you had it right. I'm a history guy. I love history of all kinds. World history. Okay? I love history. And I was a big practitioner on your history. Your medical history. Carol, you got it. It's cortisol. And here's what I found. Whenever I did a case history on anyone with cancer, okay? There was again, what did I tell you? It's a perfect storm. Perfect storm. And the problem, and I'm telling you, almost no exception to it. No exception to it. Was what? Stress. Stressful event, long period of time, family, finances, separation, divorce, kids in trouble, kids are sick, life. And it's a big part of the perfect storm. Because cortisol, it affects everything. The drip of cortisol was never meant to be. It was never meant to be. And what happens, cortisol is a growth hormone. And it is detrimental over a period of time. Cortisol is detrimental to your health. How? Well, it messes up your hormones, messes up your thyroid. It robs progesterone. It has a major effect on your gut. Think about it. You can get a bad gut. You get a bad gut, you start changing the microbiome, your immune system, T cells. Cortisol suppresses immunity. Your T cells are your Navy SEALs of your immune system. Your lymphatic system is suppressed when you're under stress. Now, you're made for stress, but not prolonged. It affects everything from your head to your toes. It will elevate your insulin even. That's why metabolically, cortisol is a very important metabolic factor because it elevates insulin. Think about it. What does that do? Well, that's going to elevate your blood sugar. Because you're in the fight or flight. You wouldn't believe how many times when I would unpack a person's history, I said, okay, tell me about your stress, and they go, how do you know? Well, you got cancer. Tell me about it. What? Well, I was taking care of my mother, sick, years. I became the primary caregiver, and it was difficult. And, or I lost my father. Stuff like that, guys. I'm telling you. How do you escape that? But it's the perfect storm. And by the way, let me just say something about kids when they get cancer. Okay? Because we see a lot more of that today than we ever did. And I believe kids are the canaries, the kids that get cancer. Terrible. Is there anything worse? They're canaries in the coal mine. But there's involvement there of the microbiome. I'm convinced of it. And anyway, I don't want to even get into it too much. The overuse of antibiotics. Plus, I just named you all the chemicals from BPA to, Roundup. And phthalates and, I mean, we live in a modern world and there's a lot of modern conveniences, including chemicals. I often called it the DuPont disease. I mean, DuPont did a lot of good things, but, you know what I mean? Chemicals. And they mimic estrogen, and estrogen is a growth hormone, and cortisol is a growth hormone, and insulin is a growth hormone. And cancer needs fuel. So, when you look at you don't want to be a statistic as much as you can. You are in control of food. That's for sure. Okay? You're in control of food. So it's really important. I try and simplify it because I think it's so significant. You want to lower your insulin. You want to lower insulin resistance. That is fundamental in the fight for cancer. You want to lower your estrogen. Ladies, I know you're thinking, hey, my estrogen is low. That's what my doctor said. No. It's lower than it used to be. But that's not the primary problem. The problem is you still got more estrogen than your progesterone. And you want to dim your estrogen out and get it balanced. Ladies, your health depends on balance. Hormones in balance. You know why I love the reset, guys? Because the reset, and it's spelled out, the reset will lower your insulin. It'll lower and fix insulin resistance. That's what I'm aiming for, not your weight. Although, I know. And even when you lose weight, that helps for prevention of cancer. For sure it does. But the key is to get your insulin resistance down, because you can be skinny as a rake and get cancer. Let me tell you that. That doesn't mean you're hormonally balanced if you're thin. It doesn't. Don't fool yourself. Food. I doubled down on it. And red meat does not cause cancer. Okay? Don't drink that Kool-Aid. It is propaganda. 100%. Oh, that bacon. Bacon is cancer. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sugar's cancer. If you don't believe me, get a PET scan. I always tell people that. Well, get a PET scan. What? Not for your pet, for you. It's a cancer imaging. And when it doesn't even work until you get glucose, either shot up your veins, or you drink a cup of sugar. Yuck. They give you a Slurpee before they put you in the machine. Seriously. And what happens? If you got cancer from your head to your toes, you'll light up like a Christmas tree. That's a PET scan. I rest my case. I rest my case. And, true story. I remember talking to an oncologist. God bless her. Nice woman. And she said, seriously, to me, what has food got to do with cancer? And she was a breast cancer oncologist, mostly. I said, you're kidding me, right? Right? No, what's food got to... I said, well, what do you got in your hospital? What imaging can you use? Oh, we just got a new one. It's called the PET scan. Uh-huh. How does it work? I don't know. Well, you gotta take sugar before it even works. No sugar, no PET scan. That ought to tell you something. I mean, it's simple deduction. Why would a PET scan work with glucose? Because cancer is looking for fuel. Cancer not looking for steak. It hates steak. Cancer hates steak. Cancer hates eggs. Cancer hates cheese. Hates it. Why? You're not feeding me. What are you giving me that for? That doesn't feed me. Cancer hates it. You got to be able to differentiate science from science fiction. Oh, I just got excited. I know you're going to hear the opposite, guys. You'll hear the opposite. But I don't care. It's not science. It's science fiction. Anywho, did you have fun? Well, it's not really that much fun talking about cancer, is it? But let's not be ostriches and bury our head in the sand. Let's be real. Let's be real. Okay. Because it's right in front of us. We got to do something about it. I'm into prevention, my friend. Prevention, prevention, prevention. Not detection, prevention. Okay. Share this, my friend, with your friends. Share this, my friend, with your family. Let them hear the other side of it. I think I simplified it enough for people to understand it. Share it. Get people to listen to it on a podcast, on the Doctors In podcast. I think it's important information. And it's meant for the average person out there. What we can do. What to be careful about. Yep. Okay. Okay, Friday is what? Question and answer Friday. Send your questions in. Okay? We look forward to it. We appreciate it. Are you getting our emails? What? You're not? martinclinic.com. Sign up. Get your emails. We put a lot of information in those emails. Okay? We love you guys, and I mean that, and we'll talk to you soon.